Oh, hold on a second. I hear something. Hold on. Hold on.
What is?
Hold on. I didn't realize the TV behind me was on.
It was on. I could have sworn I turned it off. Oh, you must have turned it on.
So, yeah, that was weird. That was weird. Woo! No, that was my genius mind. You know, every good genius is somewhat kind of crazy and nuts. That's what makes a good genius.
That's right.
And all that. Woo, man! It's a Tuesday. I know yesterday we didn't do a show. We moved it to Tuesday because yesterday was technically a holiday. It was what they call President's Day, and so we spent some time with the family. The kids were off yesterday. There used to be a time in the past, guys, that we used to have two holidays where they combined it into one. We actually, you guys all remember this. I don't know if the young people remember this, but we used to have a George Washington day off, and we used to have an Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Then they decided, let's just move all the presidents and put them in one spot, and we'll have a day off.
They're all related anyway. Fuck it.
So I know, but it's weird that now, when you think of President's Day, you have to put in Donald Trump in that category as on their President's Day. What a comic book world we live in.
Ooh, I love this comic book, man. Biff from whatever that time travel. Back to the Future. I mean, really, come on, man. He's a fucking actor. I can put the guy down. I know a lot of people are big fans of I was a fan of the TV show, and I'm a fan of his show on television. I'm like, oh, God, man.
You're fired.
Yeah.
No, he got fired, basically.
He just kept firing everybody his whole presidency. I'm like, this is just like the fucking show, man.
You can't get better than that.
No way. This could be real. This ain't real. Come on.
Everything's going on in the world, and you have this guy there, and it's like, are we just living in a perfect storm, or
we're just living in a fucking comic book, man? Comic book.
We are going to be talking a little bit, guys, today about Albert Einstein. Because Albert Einstein is very interesting depending on what kind of point of view you take on him.
Einstein.
Because, the question is, was he a real genius? Was he not a genius? Or was his memories planted there? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could go with Albert Einstein. So we will be talking about Albert Einstein in a little bit. So far, we got good old Texas Danny. Texas Danny. We got Red Pill Paul. Scott Morin is here. And, before we get into Albert Einstein, last night I watched a movie from the 90s, which never gets a lot of talked about, and then it doesn't get really a lot of I don't know what you could say, a lot of respect in different ways. And I watched this movie again last night, and I kind of admired the movie. I don't know if you remember this, Bob. I remember this movie. Let me show you images.
What's that?
You remember End of Days?
Oh shit! With Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't remember. I remember watching the movie a long time ago, dude. I might have to rewatch it.
This movie, yeah, it was actually on one of the streaming services that I have, and I was watching it again, and it's like, man, how deep that this movie goes. I mean, you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you think of action hero, where you think sometimes they go into a PG, style movies, for everybody, but End of Days is rated R, and I forgot how more stuff they could get away with than they can what they would do nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Just for like an example, when I was watching this movie, you had this character, Gabriel, who's actually he's Satan in this movie, and you know how like a lot of movies, they make the word like sex like dirty, like it's evil to have sex or whatever. And when you watch this movie, I forgot that this movie takes it to a whole new level on what evil is with Lucifer, because when he went to one of his followers' houses, he saw the wife and daughter. Well, in this movie, in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, this demon slept with both of them at once. And they want to do that nowadays in movies.
Wow.
No, they want to do that nowadays in movies. And so you kind of forget that this movie really went the extra mile on satanic. It's almost you could almost decode this movie, right? I know it's not a popular movie to decode because a lot of people probably haven't seen it, but there's a lot of shit you could decode from this movie. Let me tell you some of the awesome sayings they did in this movie that makes you think. I want you to hear this one.
Okay.
This from the Lucifer guy talking to Arnold about Jesus. Let me tell you something about him. I love when he said this. Let me tell you something about him. He is the biggest underachiever of all time. He just has a good publicist. That's all. And that saying, Bob, is so related to even in the world that we live in now, because people can be the most biggest underachiever of all time, but as long as you have a good publicist, that's all you need.
Elon Musk is a great example of that one. The guy is actually stupid. He really is stupid. I know people might think, "Oh, you've never." No, I've heard him speak, and I can tell if someone is actually articulate. The man's got some kind of mild Asperger's. He's fucking idiot. He has
a good publicist, and
great publicist.
So when I was watching this, it's almost like you could decode this movie because it's not a cheesy action. I mean, they go deep into the satanic stuff in this movie.
Yeah,
like this saying from Lucifer: How do you expect to defeat me when you are but a man and I am forever? So basically, he's telling, I live forever. You're just a man. You can't defeat me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love this part when the priest goes, we can't prevent evil by doing evil. Because in this movie, you can also decode where in this movie, the church, to defeat evil, this girl who was like a gift from heaven to be born, right? And to make sure that the devil and her don't get together, to defeat it, you have to kill her. I mean, it kind of tells you on how the church will do whatever it needs to do to protect themselves. The most evil things in the world. So I'm saying this movie is almost such a where you can decode everything that goes in nowadays. I mean, Bob, the church was hiding facts about their own priests and preachers having an affair with young children. I mean, it's just how gross it is, but
we're at battle with themselves. Remember, they're split. The church is split. It's been split since the day. Remember, one half of the church says that Jesus was a man who just had man powers, that what a man can do, and they get a great publicist. The other side of the church is, no, he's a demigod. He's half God. He's half human. He can do all these magic fucking things. And they're conflicting, the science side of the Catholic Church and then the divinity side of the Catholic. They've been fighting for fucking years, man. It's in the movie Da Vinci Code. The movie Da Vinci Code actually shows you the two factions of the Catholicist philosophy. One, he's a man. The other one, he's a god. And they fight each other because if one outproves the other one, then the other side of the church will be dominant. If the other one proves the other one wrong, then they're all completely done.
Yeah. Like I said, this movie just has so many cool sayings.
Yeah.
For thousands years, you've been waiting for my return. Behold, you have failed. And with your dying breath, you will witness to the end of days. I mean, according to this movie, remember, they were using the year 2000 to be where computers are going to shut down, that Y2K scare and all that. But if you take away that Y2K thing, they talked about how 666 is not really 666. When you go upside down, it's 999. And there's another meaning with 999 that is more important than the 666. So this movie goes in deep into a lot of things where, like I said, this movie, you could decode this movie. And I know it's not a popular movie to decode because a lot of people don't even think of this as like a movie. But if you watch this movie in that point of view, watch it for the religious stuff. Take away that it's Arnold Schwarzenegger that's in this. It's really a badass Lucifer versus a human, story.
I want to see it. I'll watch it again. You got it on your thing. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll get an idea.
What is it? Faith and reasons are always the best married couple.
Sometimes you just got to combine them together, man, because not one of them's going to win. It's the flat earth, round earth argument. They both have weight. They both keep proving themselves. This one proves itself. Everything, it's the yin yang of fucking everything, man. Yin yang fucking everything. One side has to prove its other side. The other side proves itself equally. So,
yeah, like I say, guys,
this way.
I watch movies. Sometimes like after you watch it once, and then you get to watch it for like sayings or codes. It's like I love this saying. You think I came here to hurt you? I didn't come here to hurt you. I came here to love you. Give yourself to me. I mean, these lines are just awesome.
Yeah.
What is this? Arnold, this is a famous quote from Arnold that nobody really talks about. When Arnold says, between your faith and my Glock 9mm, I'll take the Glock.
I'll take the Glock.
I mean, I love some of this stuff. What makes you think you're going upstairs when this is all over after the life you've led? So that's basically like telling people that you think you're doing good. You think you're going to go up to the big heaven, but you're really not,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can decode all the shit. And then here's the dream one that we're going to talk about dreams with Albert Einstein. I've seen him in my dreams. They're nightmares, really. In the dreams, he takes me and makes love to me. I mean, there's a lot of awesome saying that's in this movie.
I mean, how many women out there can admit that they find Yeshua a little bit hot up on that cross? They're like, he's a sexy dude. Wouldn't any woman want to lay with the man god? I mean, what's the difference between that and the devil? It's like, one gives you happiness, the other one gives you happiness. One gives you this. You go to heaven. What is in heaven? You got an all-you-can-eat taco bar for the rest of your life, but even that gets old after a while. I mean, you won't win. You're not going to win, man. It's all about your personal self. It's about you and sacrifice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's just kind of neat sometimes when you watch these certain movies in a different point of view and how real life they are. Like when the devil guy told them, "What we had a difference of opinion. I thought my wife and daughter should live. He felt otherwise." Basically saying, well, if God's so powerful, then why he took away your wife and kid? Because that's in the movie he's in his low point because he lost family. Now that even tells you that in real life that if you want to defeat somebody, the best way to defeat somebody is their family. I mean, if you even look at Star Wars, look at Star Wars. Yeah. When people think of the prequels, like they didn't like the prequels, but they didn't understand that when Anakin turned to Darth Vader, it's because he wanted to protect his wife, and then they end up dying because of evil. And then of course he becomes evil because when you lose everything, that's when you can take their soul, take the person.
Well, remember, I was watching the Endgame last night with the Avengers Endgame, and what's the name of the guy with the fist with all the stones? What's his name again?
Thanos.
Thanos. Now, if you listen to Thanos, his philosophy isn't that bad.
No, it's not.
Wasting 50% of the people and all the stars all the planets get rid of 50%, and then the resources are there. People are much more happier. There's less population. Was he really a bad guy? At the end, they even showed him a little bit human, like he felt bad, and you could see him in pain. He had no choice to take 50% of his job was horrible, but he had to finish it.
That's what makes them more better as an evil person when the evil guy thinks he's doing the right thing.
He's doing the right thing.
And technically, even in the movie Avengers, when I remember Captain America was talking to I don't know, the girl character, the one who spider whatever, I don't know her name is. He says, I just walked the streets and I noticed the ocean is I've never seen it that blue before.
Never been that blue before.
Which is saying that what he's done does make universe better because less pollution, less this, things can live and survive, and that makes them more dangerous. Now, of course, in the comics, Thanos did it because he was in love with death, and he did it for her so she could like him back. But in the movie, they did it where he was doing it so life can grow again. So suffering and dying of not having enough food, you won't have enough food because you have enough people.
Well, it's been done here. So people, even Christians, people from all faiths, Islam, all of it, you had the Great Flood. So God sent down the Great Flood. And so he basically got rid of 90% of the fucking population and saved about 10% to start all over again because they had fucked up and just tore the planet up, or the back of the turtle, or whatever your philosophy is. So it's been done. And it has been done by Jehovah himself. Or is it the good God, or is it the bad God? Or is it the good one, or the loving one, or the hateful, vengeful one? Oh, you got Thanos, or you've got Captain America that goes back in time.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, I'm telling you, watch End of Days again, and just watch the conversations, because they really do, mean something. Like, when the Satan says, where was God? He could have stopped it. Instead, he fucked you and made you feel guilty. Me, I don't do guilt. It's things like that, like saying, like, I wouldn't have your family die like that when you're just doing your job, doing good. I would have saved you. You know what I mean? It's like manipulation. It's kind of cool. So sorry, guys, that I brought up like End of Days. I was just watching last night.
Yeah.
And sometimes these movies have bigger meanings than you think they do. And it's kind of cool when you start listening to little words and how close they are to real life.
Well, yeah. I look at it as a movie in a movie, because we're in a movie and then there's a movie being performed in the movie.
Well, like I said, that is the most coolest saying that I forgot they said in the movie. Let me tell you something about him. He is the biggest underachiever of all time. He just had a good publicist. That's all. And dude, and that saying is what happening in life now, that you could be the biggest, stupidest mother goddamn guy in the freaking world. As long as you have a good publicist, that's all you need. Bob, what was that famous saying in that movie, the cowboy movie, The Kid, when Ethan Hawke said, it doesn't matter what you do, it matters what they write about you, or something.
Yes. No matter what they write about you. Yeah. It's the same thing. I was joking. Jesse James, literally a literary god, Billy the Kid, Bat Masterson, all these famous, Judge Roy Bean down in Texas. It's what they wrote about you. It's not what you done. You did a little bit. There's always smoke, there's fire, but it's about what they wrote about you afterwards, and they become legends. Hercules, Dionysus, all the old pantheons of gods or demigods, and depends on what they write about you. And then, after a catastrophe, basically, after that's what Eon Hubbard is hoping for with the Scientologists. No offense to Scientology people, I'm not putting you down, but he's banking on the catastrophe of the human race, and then what's going to be left behind is his books. Eon Hubbard's going to be the next Yeshua of the. Okay, here we go. It's about what they wrote about you. Him and his, so saith the ruler of Bethos. What they write about you in the end. Everybody's banking on their books being the next Bible, when the Great Flood or whatever happens. The next meteor that smashes down and see what we got left. And then people are grabbing old books and seeing what kind of gods we have. Crazy.
And then why I know everybody's in the chat, why are you guys bringing this up? Well, if you look at Albert Einstein, Albert Einstein, we weren't alive when Albert Einstein was alive. So what we learn about Albert Einstein is all in books.
Everything.
whatever quotes that they put in, so how can I sit here and say what I read is he's the most genius guy ever born? Was he? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. How would you know? How would you know if someone's a genius? Bob, so I'm just asking this question out anywhere. When people think of geniuses, when you think of somebody who's like a big genius kind of a person, is it because they might know better mathematics than you? What do you think consider somebody to be a genius?
I went to university. I took the physics class. I took all those classes, and I don't want to put people down, but I'm going to put people down. When I hear these nerds, and this is a nerd it used to be at a time, I'm not going to go back to it, but it used to be the strong man that fucking tilled the fucking soil and hunted was the man. And then you had the wimpy guy that didn't do anything. He usually died out in fucking nature. Women didn't want him, so they didn't have any children. But anyway, in this timeline, we've got nerds that are in charge. Nerds. Now, I've sat around with these physicists and I've had conversations, and I'm sitting there going, you know what you guys are? You're wordsmiths. And instead of saying things in a beautiful manner, you put it in symbols. You just use the E equals MC squared. One word, the capital E is energy. Now, instead of saying the word energy, you want to put the E down. So all of it is just basically, I could give you a sentence, but then I could put it in symbols, in physics symbols, and it's the same fucking thing. A writer can write about something, and then a mathematician come up and he just takes the pieces and puts it up in symbols. They're not that smart. I've sit there and give me English, and we have a conversation. So you're giving me your idea of what something is in the upper spheres. It's your interpretation, and then you translate it into perfect symbols. Mathematics. So you're saying a sentence, you could write it out on a full fucking couple of paragraphs, or you could just put it in fucking symbols, and it makes you look smarter. I said, I heard everything you're saying, and I'm reading exactly what you put out here. And I said, you're just coming up with some sentences. And I said, even that's theoretical. It's wordsmithing. It's theoretical ideas. Quantum physics is theoretical. As long as you can write it up in some mathematical equation, which is just symbols. It's not 2 + 2, Eric. It's E, capital E, little e electron, big E energy.
Hey, we're going to have to check something out tonight.
What's that?
Sherry Morrison wrote, has anyone seen the new horror flick Ravage? Oh my God, really different ending. It's scary, yet shows major survival instincts. Even scared me. Laugh out loud. It's on Amazon Prime.
I'm going to write this down.
And I have Amazon Prime, and I'm looking at it right here. I never heard of this. And thinking there's so many stuff that's on streaming services that you don't get to hear of. So I love when I hear it from people. Alone in the Woods, which is where everything always happens. A nature photographer, Harper, witnessed a violent crime. Yeah, it happens. After being captured by culprits, she used her survivalist skills to try to make it out alive.
Wow, I'll write that down. Hey, it sounds like an adventure movie. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to check that out. Thank you for suggesting that. And also last night when I was working on this show, I play stuff in the background. There was like a horror documentary that was on Amazon Prime, and how critics used to just slammed horror movies of the 80s and 90s and saying like, it's degrading to women, making women like they should. Bob, they're saying that women should go back in the kitchen. These horror movies do that, and then the horror directors, Wes Craven, John Carpenter, they were all on this documentary I watched last night, and they're like, guys, do you watch our horror movies? Who wins at the end? The women win. The men are the ones who die. The men are the ones who are idiots, and the women are the ones who outsmart the killers. I go, this movie, horror movies, most horror movies proves how much smarter than women are. And they go, and if you're a horror guy, yes, they go after women more because they think women are weaker and less and easier to kill than men. But if you watch these movies, the women are the ones who win.
They're smarter.
They're smarter. And I was like watching, like, they got it. John Carpenter, they got it. I mean, most women are the ones who win.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Eric, in physics, these guys are just wordsmithing. Here we go. E equals MC is a constant, so it's actually EM, energy and matter. So it's energy and matter. Everything. He just wrote up something you could say in a sentence. He just put it. Really, it's a thought process. It's a thought theoretical process. It's the same thing as Schrodinger's fucking cat. If you just put it down in symbols, all of a sudden you're going to get an award for it. The idea of matter and energy has been around since the fucking caveman picking up rocks, starting a fire. He didn't invent anything. All he did was reword it. He reworded it for a bunch of other nerds.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I hear these physicists and I'm like, tell it to me in English. And I hear them say it in these beautiful, well-versed sentences of these theoretical wordsmithing ideas. And I'm like, you said nothing. You said an idea. You gave me an idea, a theory, an idea, a picture in my mind, but it doesn't prove anything. Even now, they're even talking about dark matter might even be a myth. It might not exist anymore. Everything is changing.
They are. But what do you think of this comment? Einstein was a complete fraud. Do you think Einstein was a complete fraud, or we just tried to not manipulate, but change to change where you have a certain belief? Because I guess you're right. I guess if you're a flat Earth believer, you would have to discredit Einstein if you're in that camp.
Yeah, they would have to, because I mean, I don't know why they would, because you could have the same physics in space as you do here on the ground. Obviously, these are photons from the whatever you want to call that sun coming and hitting you, so it's real. You're feeling photons on your face. So when Einstein talked about photons, he's just telling you the obvious. If you just sat down and put up a lamp or a light, you got to figure out what's coming out of the end of this. It's reaching my hand. There's a light. I turn the light on. If there's a light on my hand, what is it? What is going from A to B? You give it a name. The photons are going back and forth. So he just said the obvious in English where you can understand, and then put it in mathematical symbols. Now, they say he's a fraud because he was a patent clerk. Yes. Did he go through other people's information? Yes. Did Tesla himself put in a lot of patents that were turned down or kicked to the side? Yes. Did Einstein have access to Tesla's patent attempts? I'm sure he did. Now, number one, people understand that Einstein was in Germany. At the time, these German physicians, or these German scientists, were rolling out, for some reason it was a think era, and they were rolling out thousands of ideas for this, for that. And yeah, he had access to everybody's idea because he was a patent clerk. Now remember, patents, people put in an idea, they come up with an idea, and then they put it in for a patent. That means they can own it. So what happens when the patent clerk gets a hold? Eric, you come up with an idea about a new sprinkler head. And so you thought about it. It's a beautiful idea, dude. You did it all up and you put it in for a patent so you could control the idea. Then it goes across the desk from some schmuck like me, and I go, oh, that's a cool fountainhead idea. Let me go ahead and copy this down. If you got a dishonest patent clerk, dude, he's stealing everybody's ideas. Does it mean he's bad for it? He just took everybody's ideas and combined it together and kind of weeded out the shitty ones and come up with his own idea. So yeah, he had already ready source of ideas in front of him from all the physicists and scientists. That makes him a fraud. Yeah, what makes him a plagiarist? Is, in my opinion, Einstein a plagiarist? Yeah, 100% he's a plagiarist. But did he take everybody's ideas and throw away the garbage and then combine it with his own to put it together to make it sound good? Yeah, that belongs to him. So yeah, he's a fraud. He's not a fraud. He's a plagiarist. There's a big difference. I don't know. Yeah, so that's what the person. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, he's a plagiarist, which puts him in the category of a little bit of a fraud. Yeah, but the ideas for him.
I mean, it sounds. I'm trying to think. When you think of it in that terms, where you got everybody else's information and you take it upon yourself, and then you're like you have a better publicist, right? Like you're saying, like we're talking about that famous saying, you have a better publicist. So you're taking what everybody else has created, and then you have a better publicist, and then you get all the credit for it. It's kind of like there's another movie on Netflix called Dig. And the movie Dig. Now,
told you yes.
Now, in the movie Dig, the woman hires this one guy. He takes upon himself to do all this digging, and he finds something.
Archaeology.
So he finds this ship like in a pile of dirt. He finds it, right?
England,
and of course, the story goes that the museum finds out that he has a great finding, and they send their own people and took credit for his finding. And it took after he died, 50, 60 years later, to get his name on the real guy who discovered it. And like what you're saying there is other people take credit for other people, and nobody is giving the proper people recognition of their work. And you know what I'm talking about, the movie Dig. I mean, it sounds a lot like that, and that's a true story itself too.
Yeah, in English, he's talking about movie. There's a movie called The Dig, everybody, and I went to school for archaeology, right? By the way, archaeology has a weird spelling going back and forth. There's an archaeology with an A in it now, and an archaeology with an E. There's a big controversy thing about that one, but it's not a Mandela effect. We'll make sure that's real clear. But anyway, look up archaeology. You guys will be freaked out a little bit with the A. Anyway, so back to the story. He's an excavator. Okay, he goes in and digs. That's what his job is. He's not a professional archaeologist. However, he's a layman. He got all the information. He learned it himself. He's a self-learned man. He learned everything it is from his father, how to excavate, how to dig, how to do archaeology. I went to school for archaeology. With your trowel, you do your one-by-one pits. There's a whole lot of hard work on that process of getting those artifacts out of the ground and documenting them exactly where they're at, and not touching, knowing not what to touch and know what you can touch is a lot of hard work. So this guy did this professionally. He was an independent archaeologist, but see, the academics didn't recognize him because he didn't have the doctorate in archaeology. So, of course, like you said, Eric, he went and did all the hard work, did all the information. He's a self-learned archaeologist, an independent one, but he didn't have the fucking degree to go with it. So, of course, as soon as the museums find out, they sweep in and try to take all the credit for his hard work. Again, just the same thing as Einstein with his, just because he has himself a little bit of a doctorate from some fucking Jewish school he went to in Germany, it doesn't mean that he knows all these things. He took other people's hard work. Some of them didn't have degrees.
And even when the church took over kind of the dig, he stayed on.
He stayed on the dig. Well,
he stayed on as honor, and then the woman who's dying said she's going to donate all the findings to the church to the museum for free. Yeah. And as long as he gets credit for it, and then she dies, and they backstab. It just tells you how society turns their back on you in a second.
Degrees don't mean a goddamn thing. If you're a self-learner, now I went to school, I have an advanced degree, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't know how to fucking use it, or you're practical with your hands and you're out getting dirty with things and you actually know, even before you went to college, you already have this information. That's just a piece of shit paper that you have that says you were qualified to do the work. That's what's fucked up. I met a lot of people that do archaeology that didn't have a fucking degree, that knew more than me and still does. So again, with the same thing with Einstein, he's another one of those guys. Again, he's a patent clerk and he fucking took all the information. I'm not saying that he's a fraud. I'm saying he is a plagiarist. Well, other people have actually said this about the guy. He's been set up. He's been groomed to be that fucking person. You know, even his theories now that keep coming true. They keep saying all the physicists are taking all of Einstein's stuff and proving it. This is proof. I said, this is proof of what? You still haven't proved anything. It's a theoretical concept that this man came up with. And you just keep, but some of the things he does have correct. It's easy shit, though. It's a 101 class physicist kind of shit he got right. Because they all get it right on that. Radiation is not that complicated. It's pretty fucking easy. Everything has a breakdown point. Everything breaks down. Even rocks. People don't know that, Eric. You die. Your body breaks down. Your carbon in your body breaks down. Even rocks, people, have an expiration date. Even rocks. Grass. Everything in fucking life has an expiration date. That's where radiation comes from. Basically, if you have a matrix and you have an object, at one point within that matrix game, that object's going to have to disappear. And so radiation is basically particles. It's dissolving. It's expired. Rocks that have expired. Radioactive material is just rocks that are old and they're expiring. They're basically going back into the ether. They're dissolving like in a video game. Things that dissolve. Everything does. Energy. Energy is released. It goes somewhere. Everything is energy, release of energy. You burn a piece of wood. Wood turns into hot heat. It turns into energy. Burning combustion. And it goes into nothingness. Or it goes into something else. Nothing disappears ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same concept. Deep, deep thought process.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, I don't know the guy. I mean, I wasn't there. You know, he's in all the books and stuff, and I can't sit here and prove and not prove whatever he's saying. You know, what's that famous E equals M2 square?
MC square. Yeah.
You know, I mean, are you a real? I mean, does it really make you a genius if you start putting titles to certain findings or logic, and because you come up with a cool, sexy name of something, that automatically means it's real and true?
Well, it's an entire paragraph that he puts together. They put it together in energy equals mass squared. You know, it's the speed of mass. It's the speed of light. You know, I got my notes here. The speed of light is electromagnetism radiation. Speed of light is 67 million miles per hour. 67, which is 13. But anyway, yeah, you know,
this law of the dynamics, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transform into another form.
Yeah, that's the way it works. Yeah.
So everybody who's there in the chat, if you guys have not yet gone to my website, I don't know why. I don't know why, because on weekly basis, every Sunday, or this time it was like 2:00 in the morning. So I guess you could say technically it was Monday. I am sending out weekly newsletters.
Yes, it's a good one too.
And it's going to get bigger and better. You know, I'm still learning to use the program. And what the weekly newsletter is basically telling you what are the shows going to be about for the week. So you can see here, like Albert Einstein, and we're talking about him, and we're going to be talking about the paranormal side of it too. Okay, and then tomorrow, since Tuesday to Wednesday is kind of a shorter kind of a day, we're going to have fun and talk about crystal skulls. You know, the stories behind the crystal skulls. Now, I know most people think crystal skulls are fake, and they can be fake, but sometimes even fake stories come from real mythology, real myths, and all that. So we're going to discover. And then Friday, we've been doing coding like certain movies, and we're going to decode this Friday Tron, Terminator, Star Trek, the motion picture. Now, not every Star Trek movie. I'm talking about the 1979 Star Trek, the motion picture. That the reason we're going to decode these movies, because these are the movies that kind of gave birth to artificial intelligence. So you could say it's / Matrix and we're gonna tell you how these movies kind of gave birth on artificial intelligence, and that's Friday. And then later on, this weekly newsletter, I'm gonna have other stories, other like when you find Bigfoot and stuff. I'm just learning how to use it, and more I use it, faster I'll get. Because I'm doing this by myself, so it's not like I have a guy who's working on this website behind the scenes. Like somebody was using on the website. Somebody was using the live chat thing. The live chat is only live when I'm there looking at it, where I could talk live. I'm not always on the website. I don't have a person that's sitting there 24 hours, but the live chat is there when I'm on there more to do live chat. So if you want to get this weekly newsletter, you'll have to go to the channel, subscribe, and it's free. And it's not like I'm telling you guys got to pay $5 a month. No. It's all free, and you'll be getting newsletters from me. So you guys get a chance, go to the website, sign up, and so you get my weekly newsletters.
And it just talks about what we're going to talk about during the week, that we already have the information.
Yeah, and I'm going to have additional stories. It's just I got to get more, used to it, more better, it's easier to use.
You have a little bit of prehistory before we even start the show. You've already got the information there, so you use it as like college. We're kind of like treating this like college class, guys. You just here's a little bit of the criteria that's going on for the fucking week. You can look at it and go, oh, they're going to talk about this, and I already got the information. Make a decision. Hey, I might jump in and share some information that I've learned about.
Yeah. Hey, they're talking about crystal skulls. I know some stuff about it. Or you might, like you said, Bob, you might discover some stuff that we don't know about in the movie. So guys, go ahead and do that. And now I want to talk about the paranormal side of Albert Einstein, because there's a belief out there that these creative formulas, the math formulas, whatever you want to say, they get this downloaded to them. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, I wrote some notes here on Albert Einstein. Einstein received the inspirational for his groundbreaking theory of relativity in a dream. And there's a lot of people that's considered geniuses in life. Stories go that a lot of their genius has been coming from dreams, right? There's a guy named Frederick August Kekulé discovered the elusive shape of if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Benzene molecule during a daydream in which he saw a snake chasing his tail. Ooh. So again, these dreams, and there's another guy that's considered smart, where a brilliant Russian chemist named Dmitry Mendeleev literally dreamed up the periodic table of the elements in a dream.
Yeah.
That they saw all this in a dream. Now, does that mean something? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, you hear people in the music business saying famous songs like, I dreamt up this lyric when I was dreaming.
Yeah.
Are they getting an upload, or are they not? Because there's a theory that says Albert Einstein theories came from outer space. I'm just saying. And they're saying he was getting these uploads through his dreams. Or you think you could say that we're living in a matrix. If you believe that we're living in a matrix, they say that people get uploads. Yeah. And the most perfect time to upload is when you're dreaming. They say your body needs about 8 hours of sleeping. Yeah. And while you're sleeping is when your body heals itself. Is it healing itself faster because we're receiving uploads?
Yeah. Radiation comes from somewhere. You could be getting downloads. People dreamed. I've fucking dreamt a lot of things, especially since 2016. Everyone's like, I haven't dreamt. 2016 rolled around and I haven't started. I'm the opposite. I can't stop dreaming about everything. Everything. That's why I got a full beard and it's a nasty ass storm. I knew it was coming. You guys gotta start trusting your dreams, man. It's telling you the truth. The same thing with Einstein, same with all these famous mathematicians or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. What was it, Eric? Back to the Future, didn't he the flux capacitor? He fell and hit his head.
And he dreamt it.
And he dreamt the flux capacitor. He dreamt it. So
yeah.
Interesting.
And I know some of you there probably thinking, I don't really believe that. But hold on. There's a guy from New Mexico named Rex Young. He used a machine, I'm going to say short word, a MEG machine to measure the brain wave activity of a test subject. He used this to show inspiration of the brain. And when I'm going to show an image of this machine that I'm talking about here. Where is it?
Picture brain.
Yeah, okay. I gotta find out which one of my tabs have this. Let me see. Is it this one? No. Well, first of all, okay. This is a machine. This machine is called magnetocephalography. Why do they gotta come up with these fucking long ass stupid names I'll never understand? Is a non-invasive medical test that measures the magnetic fields produced by your brain's electrical currents. It is performed to map brain functions and to identify the exact location of the source of the epileptical seizures. So they use this machine for a lot of things. And let me see. Let me pull this up.
It's a brain mapper. It maps your brain.
Yes.
Yeah, and it shows you where the activity parts of your brain is. So they were doing studies when you're sleeping or daydreaming. They want to see what lights up in your brain hole.
That's not the picture of a machine. I got it here.
Brain light up your frontal lobe cortex, which is much smaller in this fucking timeline. But yeah, ours was huge in our old timeline. But this one is a little guy, little slopey dudes, like slope heads. I call everybody a slope head here.
Okay. You see this? You see this right here? I mean, look at this thing.
Wow.
Look at this thing. I'm serious. Look at this thing, people. Look at this. Look at this.
Put my head in that.
Yes, you put your head in that. And what this guy was doing was
lobotomizing you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it looks like the Coneheads from the movie, the Saturday Night Live Coneheads. But what this guy did was he was asking him questions like move your eyes left to right, and then it was asking like standard questions, and he was watching the graph on what his brain is. Then he tells him, now I want you to just relax the brain, don't think of anything, kind of like go to sleep in a way.
Yes, meditate.
And when he was relaxing the brain, the wavelength went kind of crazy, where he was receiving more brain activity during a relaxation date-like dream versus when he was answering questions.
Yeah. So when you relax, that's what they talk about meditation. When you meditate, you're turning everything off, and then you're just receiving information from the ether, according to the theory, people. According to the theory, you're receiving all these downloads from the ether, from some super galactic cache out in the upper spheres that comes into your head.
Yeah.
Look at that. PTSD, of course, is the frontal lobe cortex. Yeah.
Then hold on. Then you're gonna let me get this one thing here, and then to go further on it. Let me see. Where the hell happened to it? I hate when things starts to disappear when you had it here. Here, I'm gonna find something because this.
It's the matrix that wants you to do it correctly, so it removes certain things and adds certain things.
Yeah, it must be because like
I'm outside, guys. That's why I'm a little bit cold. I love it though. I'm fine with it. I'm natural to it right now.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. This is
I said don't shave. Tell people, warn people.
This is to use this machine, right? There are estimated of 100 meg scanners around the world at a potential cost of $2 million each. So to make this machine, it's over $2 million.
And is this for research, though? It doesn't do anything. Well, I guess it does if they're looking for a certain pattern, like PTSD would light up a certain spot. If you've got autism, it would trigger other areas of your brain. So maybe it's to determine what kind of brain disease you have.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I'm trying to... let me see here. UC users, business hours used. And then I remember like one site, for somebody to do this, most insurance don't cover this. And I don't have that site no more, but hourly rates, depending on different areas, is now this back in 2018. Because now I'm learning that some areas charge up to $2,000, $3,000 less than an hour.
Oh.
And I know these prices are different, but they're showing like, who is a non-US user. But I was looking at it, the place that does have it, the hospital does have it, just to be there for 1 hour on average is somebody will have to pay $5,000 out of their pockets. Now I'm like thinking like, well, are you going to learn enough in that time paying that much money? I mean, what do I get out of using this machine? And the only reason I'm bringing this up, guys, about Albert Einstein is what they're trying to prove here with this machine is you have more activity that goes on during a dream state than you're awake.
Your awake state, yeah.
And you hear it from singers who wrote their famous lyrics from their dreams, or George Lucas, when he almost died in a car crash, he was in the hospital. He claimed that he dreamt up a lot of his Star Wars while he was in bed at a hospital in a dream state. So now the theory goes, some of these is being uploaded to you from aliens, ancient aliens, or from another timeline. Are they? And if that's true, then technically you could say that nobody's is really a genius. It's whatever is being uploaded to you.
Yeah. Well, they said his brain, once he died, he donated his brain to science. They removed his brain.
No, I got it right here. I got that right here.
Yeah, they removed his brain.
I got it right here. Albert Einstein's brain. I actually have that. The brain of Albert Einstein has been a subject of much research and speculation. Albert Einstein's brain was removed within 7.5 hours of his death because he wanted them to take his brain out as soon as they can so they can study his brain. What do you got on that, Bob, about his brain?
Well, they had done it. Well, guys, when I tell stories, I tell it from what I remember from Sagittarius timeline mentality, brain ways. Anyway, so the brain is much different than over there than over here. But so the brain is supposed to be, his brain was supposed to be larger than a normal man's brain. So he had a larger brain. It worked in unison, left and right, which they find out that certain geniuses, they allegedly, both left and right portions of your brain work together. It crosses that little split seam in the middle and work together and somehow. We also found out that he had much more neurotransmitters. He had certain types of certain parts of your brain that you need for cognition. He had much more. His brain was young. They said it was had the tissue of a 16, 17-year-old. Yeah. His brain was very well maintained. The man must have ate a lot of fish oil. I gotta find out what his diet was, but so he had a young person's brain, which means he had a lot of imagination. So that's what that's telling me. It doesn't mean he's a genius. That means he had a lot of imagination. So anybody with a lot of imagination can be considered a genius no matter what you do. So yeah, then his brain went missing. in my timeline, it went missing, and the doctor that had removed his brain selfishly hid it for a short time until that somebody who went investigating and went to go look for the brain finally found his brain from this doctor that was hiding it from other people. They took it, then they gave it to the research center where they put it into thin slices, and then they, of course, copied each picture. Now, and all the universities get a little bit of a copy picture of a slide of his brain. So, yeah, that was interesting when they stole his brain.
Oh, here it is, right here. A weird story about the journey of Einstein's brain. After hours of Einstein's death, his mind disappeared. A mysterious case about a man who accused of stealing Einstein's brain. Did he have a unique brain? Two scientists decided to solve the mystery of Einstein's genius. Did the brain solve the mystery? Does the intelligence lie in opposed tissue, which weigh 1.25 kilograms? Is there a mental mystery that can never be identified and gained? So he talks about how, like you said,
yeah,
part of his brain was stolen.
It was stolen, but they successfully got it all back. And so again, they got it all back after they found the brain. His brain was, they were like hiding his brain. But yeah, you know, you got to ask yourself a lot of questions. How his brain was so well preserved and it had no indications of anything bad in it. A man must. Now, he was a smoker. Now, people understand that. Most physicists that I know that were pipe smokers, it actually helps. He even wrote a paper on how it helps you. It helps you concentrate. It keeps your neurotransmitters from oversynapsing, and it keeps your brain narrow. So I know he was a pipe smoker. Tobacco, he used tobacco. He also probably used other substances for his little journeys. They won't mention that, but yes. Okay, so I'm not saying he smoked weed, but I'm sure he sampled a little bit of some other things. He saw most of the things that he wrote it up into physics principles, but he actually saw them as daydreams first. Remember, everything he did was a daydream. So his whole life was, when you talk about bringing in the dreams. See, everything he's ever talked about was from his dreams. From that big-ass, huge brain noggin he had there. That oversized brain, which they found eventually. Yeah. Oh, by the way, people, as an anthropologist and archaeologist, went to university, I'm going to tell all you vegans out there, you're idiots. Human brain has been adapted to have animal fats or certain types of fats for your neurotransmitters to work, like you use oil or pistons and certain other things. You got to have oil. You got to have that substance for your neurotransmitters to have synapses. You need that. Like, a lot of people will put this certain type of gel, Eric, on their electrical equipment. So if they have wires, they use an electrical gel for the wires, or if they're putting their car lights onto your car, you put the light in there. Before you do that, you put a little bit of electrical gel, then you attach the light in there, and it helps for the conduity, whatever, entity. It helps it better. The same thing for your neurotransmitters. It's the same kind of concept where you have that little extra gel around your neurotransmitters. So he most likely had a maybe high fish diet, lots of fish oils and other types of oils for your brain. So vegans, go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be idiots because you got to have that natural oil in your brain. Einstein proved that.
I was reading some people in the chat. There's some crazy stuff.
What's that?
Mr. Rowe, did you ever hear the thing about how Indiana Jones was the dream Han Solo experience while he was in Carbonite?
Wait a minute.
I'm reading that like, I like that.
That's pretty good. Yeah, he probably was. Or it could have been Indiana Jones's dream. He could have dreamt Star Wars. His other character, Han Solo. They're pretty much the same character. They're both salvagers.
Yeah, really. I mean, if you guys don't know, the nerd part of that was Steven Spielberg. You know, they originally signed Magnum PI Tom Selleck that he was going to be Indy. I mean, he was signed, but he couldn't get out of filming Magnum PI. And then Steven Spielberg went to George Lucas and said, "Hey, let's use Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones." And George Lucas said, "No, I don't want my actors. I want them to only think of Han. I can't have this guy do 2 different parts in 2 different movies." But Steven Spielberg had to convince George to let him use Harrison Ford because George didn't want to give him up. He's like, I only want him for Han. I don't want him to handle. He can't handle this much. But of course, he was able to use them. The rest is history. So Steven Spielberg is the reason why Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. George didn't want to give him up, but he did.
Yeah.
Here, Texas Dan, he tried to sell it. Hey, Texas Danny, what did Einstein think or say, if anything, about quantum entanglement?
Yeah, he did. We can go into that. So I got a lot of stuff on Einstein. Einstein, he was the first one to come up with the concept of the black holes. Okay, so you got to remember there's black holes, according to physicists, which is goes back to gravity waves. You could see they've got to exist because you see the gravity waves. And remember, Einstein's the first one to see because of an eclipse. He looked at someone's research about a certain eclipse, and when the sun was completely covered by the moon, or whatever you want to call it, you see what they call gravity waves. So there's your first step with your concept of quantum entanglement, gravity waves. And of course, he's the first one to talk about particles. Okay, this is why he's famous. The first ones to talk about particles and photons and all those other little dancing micro fucking teeny weeny quantum little energy balls, you call them, floating around everywhere, and everything's made up with exception also with vacuum, and then you have your particles. So yeah, he was the first one to bring all that up. So Einstein was the first one to bring all these things up. In fact, he got an award. What was it his award for? Let's see. I can't find it. Yeah, he got an award for talking about particles give off radiation. Okay, radium. So he talked about radiation. In fact, he was instrumental with old Roosevelt for the Manhattan Project. In fact, he wrote a letter. He finally read the letter. President Roosevelt read the letter, October 11th, 1939, and it was all about Einstein's work on the Manhattan Project, which we all know is the nuclear bomb, which fucking pretty much put a big dent into Japan. So thank Einstein for that. Now, he wasn't happy about them taking his work and then making a nuclear bomb out of it.
Well, isn't that what the government does?
Yes, what the government does.
I mean, that's what they look at everything as. Can this be used as a weapon? I mean,
he was instrumental with a lot of deaths. So, I mean, I don't think that was his intention, though. That's why he wrote a letter to Roosevelt.
Well, Shelley, I hope you bring some of your information of the documentary to the show tomorrow. Shelley wrote, Eric, Crystal Skulls, just saw the new documentary on the Mitchell Hedge skull. I never thought she found it on her birthday, but when the sun and light shines on it, wow, I believe some of them contain info. Yeah, Shelley, that's exactly what Bob's saying, why I do the weekly newsletter. So if you guys see documentaries and stuff, you guys could bring this up on the day of the show to bring in additional information that we don't have. Is exactly. That's why you gotta, Shelley, that's why you gotta subscribe to the website.
Yep.
So you know. Like here, Bob, I'm reading this right here. Einstein brain was different from other people. Now they're saying it was different. Like a new study led by Florida State University, Dean Falk, have revealed that portions of the brain of Albert Einstein are unlike those of most people. Now, first of all, of those of most people, it's not like everybody who dies, they take out brains. So, I mean, I don't know how many brains you got to have to say.
Well, it goes back to your publicist idea, Eric. It's your publicist.
I mean, wouldn't you got to have like thousands? I mean, I don't know, 10,000 of brains to really do comparison. Like, I mean, I don't know how many brains they use for this study, but it says here Take short after his death, not previously analyzed. The photographs show that Einstein's brain had an unusual complex pattern of convolutions in the ventral cortex, which is important for abstract thinking. In other words, Einstein's brain actually looked different from yours or mine. Well, how do I know what my brain looks like unless I take it out of my brain? If I do that, I die.
The reason why I like to poo-poo a lot of this bullshit is because, and I'm going off the reservation here again, guys. I don't want to make anybody upset or that, but I went to school for anthropology, archaeology. I studied the brain, but from Sagittarius arms perspectives. Again, I'm not from this fucking place, so our brains were much fucking different. Okay, our brains were the way further back. Our spine was much further back on the brain cavity, you know. But we had a large frontal lobe cortex, much larger than we have now. If those of you guys remember the way I remember. Now, the way they describe his frontal lobe cortex is exactly the way it used to be from back home. So I'm like, so they're describing something that everybody had. But apparently in this place, you got to keep the brain from fucking Sagittarius, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully I've got the same brain from Sagittarius. But yeah, so like Eric talked about, sometimes in your dream state, so maybe he's his other's avatar self that he swapped with or whatever is in Sagittarius arms version of him, is maybe that information is coming from here back and forth when we talk about quantum entanglement. Maybe him here is connected to him over there on the other side of the fucking coin, and they both sharing the information. One has a bigger brain than the other. You know what I'm saying? So you're both getting the same information back and forth. So over here, frontal lobe cortexes are much smaller, but they're calling it bigger here. I go, well, it's not really bigger here. It's the same size as it was over there. So I don't know. It's a toss of a coin in some of these things.
What we're going to do real quick, because I got to go visit the little men's room real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little break.
Yes.
I'm going to go use the bathroom. But during this little break, Bob made this cool little video. Oh, hold on. Let me press pause for a second. Bob made this cool little video. Hold on a second. It's called Mandela Effect 13 and 119. So Bob made this cool little video. While I'll go bathroom, I'm going to play this real quick. And then, Bob, did you want to explain the video first? You want to?
Yeah, I'll give it 2 seconds. You go take a piss. So what you're going to see is, guys, is a steady pattern. We had a camera, me and some people from England, and we recorded news clips through several months, and you're going to see a consistent pattern of 13, and then 911, 13. And I know a lot of other people, like Matt from Quantum from Conscious, also sees the patterns of 911. He doesn't see 13s, but I have other people that see 13s and 33s. And I call it the source code. Like, it shows everything's a matrix. It's all a fucking video game. And it's consistent with the media. It's continuous with the media. And it shows you how this place is just one big ass video game. Now, I'm just saying in an entertainment way. So, you know, use your discernment. So whatever. All that fun
Let
stuff.
me know if you hear it first.
Yes.
You hear it?
No.
You don't hear nothing?
No, barely.
Okay, let me turn it up and let me turn off my change my audio to make it better. And then we go back here. Here we go. Is that better? Oh, it's better. Okay, here we go.
Go for it.
The next time they played, the system actually learned how to learn. It could teach itself.
As it creeps closer to doorways and into the issue area, 1,300 hurricanes by picture area have been told to pack up the presents and leave Christmas.
67 flood warnings across the UK. 6 plus 7 is 13.
Thursday evening, everyone. I'm Craig Melvin in for Leicester. With more than 337,000 Americans dead from coronavirus who have already died to go about their business as usual. I'm seeing the people in the UK have been given the first dose of COVID vaccine.
Updates on the progress of the vaccination program. The aim is vaccinating around 13 million people by mid-February.
The Prime Minister said that 1.2 million people across the UK have already been vaccinated with the aim of this vaccine to around 13 million people. The Minister said 13 million people from large groups will be offered the first dose by the confidence that it will likely be speaker or Dennis, no matter what for one temperature drop. 13 degrees. Because the threat picture has absolutely changed. It's like an armed cast. Rose clothes, police on every street. People home to join to convict and remove the president. And up to God, what the president.
Here's what I know. For the first time in our lifetimes, we're standing together with both teeth distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7600 Games.
Yeah, I think that knows more than anybody else. This is a protein.
If the truck is headed south on Western, I repeat, south on Western. Hundreds of people running for cover. Who's running out of stores next year? And you will not hear anything bad about me unless it's about a month or two from now.
And of course, we know that. And he's a month or two from now. And then the guy was on page.
I'm gonna grab my coffee. You explain your video.
Yeah, so interesting enough, if you guys look at it, it was a consistent set of numbers. One of the scenes was Jacob's Ladder. What do they call it? Jacob's Ladder, where he stands in front of the door with the 911, and he's talking about an explosion. I'm like, how perfect is that? Or 119, that one. But with the 33s, the 13s, consistently is always, and the license plate numbers of the vehicles at the insurgents or whatever at the White House, and they all come out to a 13. I'm like, everything. It's a 911 or a 119 or a 33, which leads to a 13 or a 133. everything. I mean, constantly in the media, constantly in the movies. So we talked about how with how the Bible was just like the movies at the time. So everyone's saying, well, all these movies have truth drops, every one of them. Same thing with the Bible, same thing with the Torah, same thing with the Quran, same with all those books, because they didn't have movies back then, they had books. The books themselves are all coming true. They all have consistent numbers and patterns that keep going through. It's just proving 100% this is a goddamn living ass video game matrix, that everything is progressing in its own way. Now, Eric, what I really wanted you to look at was that pillow. Now, I'm holding up my time travel pillow. Remember, I've always held it up 1,000 times in my videos.
Yes.
Now, as Texas Danny can agree in the sidebar with me, my old traffic light used to be green, yellow, red, and now it's red, yellow, green. But on my pillow, Eric, I made sure I put green, yellow, red. If you go back to the video, if you can back it up to that time travel part when I'm holding the pillow, I want you to see something, because somebody sent me some emails and some people that actually bought the pillow. I have a T-string with or whatever with a pillow. It was green, yellow, red, like the traffic lights. So you always remember the way it used to look. They've changed. The pillow changed.
Let me ask this guy this question real quick. He
Yeah.
asked me, do you talk on Philip K. Dick? Now, are you talking about the science fiction writer? Is that the guy you're talking about? Because Philip K., I know this name as he's a science fiction writer. This guy he wrote like 121 short stories, 44 published novels he's an American writer for his work in science fiction. Is that the guy you're talking about? If you are talking about him, no, we haven't talked about him, but he is an interesting topic, because he has all these novels and science fiction, and sometimes it's fun to decode on the reason behind that. So if that's who he's talking about, if he's talking about a politician, then I don't know. So I'm asking Teresa, are you talking about the science fiction guy? Oh, she wrote, yes.
We could put a little top. We could go over his stuff if you want to. Like another show, we could do science writers, science fiction writers. We could do that.
He's a writer that started, if I remember right, he was born in 28. He died like in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he's explored like elements about alternate realities, and all that kind of stuff. So he is actually a cool subject to talk about. So maybe like not this Friday, because we already got a decode, but maybe like next Friday we can do something on decoding
science fiction writers.
Science fiction writer, and try to decode. Was there like a message? And not like the Scientology kind of guy that
with the Alan Hubbard. Yeah,
he's a science fiction writer. So
his first name Howard, which is also the same first name as H.P. Lovecraft.
So Teresa, if you got good information on him, you can email me. Through this email right here. Do I hear my dog? Oh shoot, I did. I did hear the dog. Hold on.
Better not be going through that stuff.
Hold on. I was like hearing this. So yes, email me some information about him that maybe you know some cool stories that we don't know about this guy, and we can bring it up next Friday. Hold on, I'm gonna put the dog outside.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Come on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna put the dog outside.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so apparently I have a pillow. I call it Time Machine. I wrote a thing for time machine stuff back in YouTube. Is Eric? Back in YouTube in 2000, no, not YouTube, but back in Facebook in 2009. And so I put the equation on a pillow so people could see it. So you have the equation for time travel on a pillow. And so I put, remembering the old traffic lights, I put green, yellow, red on the pillow. And apparently the pillow's colors have changed. What? So this is my pillow that I own, that I had made. And people that had bought the pillow from the Teespring thing are like, dude, the fucking colors switched on the pillow. So it's a personal real-time Mandela effect. So Eric, show the video again, but back it up to the pillow portion. I want to show the pillow.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just got back to see. I heard the last part. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so next Friday we'll talk about that writer. That's cool. To see which Glitz and Matrix documentary. Next. Okay, so now do what now?
Well, put the video back on, but then fast forward it up to the pillow where I'm holding the pillow. It should be within the first like 2 minutes.
Okay, hold on.
I gotta show this pillow for the people that actually have the pillow are going, dude, they switched colors. I know. I know they did. Calm down. I freaked out too a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, why the hell did it do this?
Okay, let me get that screen back up.
Yeah.
I threw the dog a donut. So, I know I shouldn't be giving a dog a donut, but
a dog a bone.
So you're saying in 2 minutes in?
Yeah, right there. See, oh, keep going. You see, I'm holding the pillow.
I'm looking. Oh, I see it. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
So there it is. If you could blow it up. Now, if you see the pillow, I remember I did this. I don't remember writing it, but I did it on Facebook. If you could see the colors on there, it's now yellow, green, and red. It used to be green, yellow, red, like the traffic lights. Now it's switched to yellow, green, and red. So the green and the yellow swap spots on the color. On my own pillow that I made. Now and if you go to my Teespring, dude, it's still, I think I told you, go to my Teespring, it still has red, yellow, green. It still has red, yellow, green, but now the pillows, if you got one, it's the color swap. So now the yellow is isotope. It used to be green. And then the negative is now it used to be yellow, but now it's green. It's switched colors. The green and the yellow switched colors. The red stayed the same. The electron at the end, the little e, electron. But you see what I'm talking about? I mean, you wouldn't know unless you had the pillow. But why would I put yellow, green, red? Guys, I put green, yellow, red for the traffic lights specifically. That's how I remembered it. But now the colors swapped. So I have a real-time change-a-roo on that. I've showed this pillow hundreds of times, and it used to always be regular, but it's just changed just not too long ago.
I mean, you are a weird guy.
Yeah. But I don't know if you remember it always being green, yellow, red. I don't know if anybody even remembers it ever being green, yellow, red. My roommates do. They're all like, dude, the fucking pillow colors changed. I said, yeah, I see that. It swapped colors. So I got to figure out why. What's
What did Longreach say? Did you needle point that, Woody?
No, it's printed out. I had it printed. It's printed. So if you guys want to time travel, there's the actual fuck Einstein. There's the real deal right there. It came from my head.
We're living in altered states, 50 of them. Oh yeah, no, we are.
Well, yeah. Well, Einstein. Back to Einstein. You can get rid of that now. Einstein, oddly enough, in my time, did not have a release of fucking letters coming out. All of a sudden, in this timeline, because we're in the apocalypse, which means nothing bad, which means all the truth came out. It turns out that that in 1986, they discovered 1,400 letters from Einstein to his daughter. Let me say this again, to his daughter. One of the letters that he had read, Einstein talked about a universal force. That's right. Einstein talked about a universal force, Eric, like the force like in Star Wars. Exactly. Yeah. And he says the universal force is, quoted from Einstein, the universal force is love. That's what he said. That was from the other day.
I'm just fucking around.
Yeah. So the universal force, there we go, keep it on, it's good, it matches it. Einstein said the universal force in everything is love. That came from Einstein. Out of his 1,400 letters to his daughter. Now, the weird part was Einstein got married in 1903, and then his daughter, he had a daughter, and his daughter died the same year, 1903. So I don't know if he had more than one daughter. This is the weird part. I can't figure it out because he wrote letters to his daughter, but his daughter died the same year she was born. So I don't know who he's writing the letters to. But yeah. And so Einstein himself died April 4th, 1955. Yeah, he got the Nobel Peace Prize for photoelectronic effects. So he did the whole thing on that. So he talked about the universal force, Eric. I've never, ever heard him say this. And I don't remember even these letters that popped up out of nowhere. But he talks about the universal force is love. Einstein. He apparently wrote a lot of letters, and now they're going through all his stuff. I'm like, I remember one crucial letter to a psychologist. I can't remember if it was Jung or if it was Freud. One of them he wrote, and they asked the question was, does he believe in God? Because remember, he's Jewish, and he in this timeline says that he's an atheist. But where I came from in the letter, we had it at the Museum of Flight, believe it or not. We were all buzzing about it. He talked about being agnostic. He openly confessed to being agnostic, which means still religious. And he referred to the Bible as allegory, but for a good cause, in a very beautiful way, he wrote it. So he was agnostic. I don't know here. I think he's atheist here. That's what the buzz is. But it's part of his 1,400 letters that he had supposedly wrote to his daughter, which died in 1903, which is weird because that's 13, by the way. There's another 13 thing. Pretty much all his dates are all 13s. You want to just go through everything. In 1921, he wrote 1921. He won the Peace Prize. If you look at 1921, that's 13. So here we go with the source codes for this video game. If you go through a lot of his stuff, it's 13.
Let me think. I forgot about this. I want to thank World Searcher for bringing this up. I'm trying to understand this better, but if you download the Wix app, the Wix, W-I-X app, and there's an invitation code, and this invitation code actually puts you to the website on your phones and Wix, and it allows to get notifications and better like response like from myself, you back and forth.
Yeah, for the webpage.
Yeah. It's called Wix. It's a Wix thing. So thanks, researcher. So you download a Wix app, and then Wix app has people who are connected with Wix. Wix is the one that helps build my site behind, or we work together. And if you type in that code, it puts you into my page as an app on your phone. So there's not a Gypsy Road app. My app is through Wix app. So you go to the Wix app, you type in that number right there that's on that screen, and you're on the webpage. So if you don't use a computer, no big deal.
Yeah.
Do it through Wix app. So sorry about that.
Hell yeah.
So I want to thank him for bringing that up. I forgot all about that. Thank you.
So remember, Einstein talked about the black holes, which they have now. Now, here's the weird part. Like Eric talked about how sometimes you dream and see the future. Here's the weird part about Einstein. He talked about the stars. Now, the stars up there are basically, they're supposed to be hydrogen, and hydrogen converting over to helium. And so when it does that, it gives off energy, which is what you feel for the sun. So everything is radioactive. It feel the heat. Now, he talked about the two black holes. And there it is, Eric. He talked about the two black holes. And one of them we know, or they say they know, it's in the center of the fucking universe, or the galaxy, the center of our galaxy. Now, we've got evidence to show, they say now.
Have a good day at work, Texas. Okay? You have to go to work.
Oh, no problem. Danny, always watch it later. But in the center of the galaxy, you've got two converging galaxies into one. So it's around Sagittarius A, which is where the center black hole is. You've got another black hole. You've got the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy smashing into Canis Major galaxy. So you've got two galaxies smashing together. So you got two black holes that are eating each other up. And that's what he predicted. You understand? He predicted this back in the 30s and the early days about these two. Now they have what physicists are calling, Eric, two merging black holes. Exactly what Einstein said. Again, and here's all the graphic pictures for you guys to see. It looks kind of like an atom where you've got a loop here and a loop there. And I keep bringing it up to people that if you look at the NASA symbol, it has the same circle loop. Exactly. So some people say, what's your idea of the Mandela effect? Or what's this thing about the quantum changes and all this stuff? Well, you do have physicists saying that you've got two galaxies merging into one. At the same time, you've got two black holes that are feeding into each other, all at the same time. So these two galaxies are actually feeding into the Milky Way. So you got the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy feeding into the Milky Way, and you got Canis Major and Canis Minor feeding into the Milky Way. At the same time, you've got two black holes around Sagittarius A area feeding off each other. So you've got this massive convergence of matter. It's like in a blender at the center of the Milky Way, according to physicists and the narrative we have presently.
I gotta ask a question because I'm looking at this picture here.
Yeah.
And it's going, it's going throughout the years, like 1 billion years ago, current situation, 8 billion years ago. How do they really know what something looked like from 8 billion to 3 billion to 1.9 billion to 1 billion in a current situation? Unless you could time travel.
Yeah.
How do they know what it even looks like from billions? I mean,
math. They're doing basic math. What they're doing is they're backing up because light takes, the speed of light. So they have, it depends on the volume of light that you're seeing from a star.
He says our math is correct.
So this is all, again, Eric, this is all wordsmithing. These are all just speculations from nerds.
How do we know our math is the correct math?
We don't know. We don't know. This is what Einstein was talking about. See, Einstein talked about this way back when, and now they're actually saying it 80s and 90s merging. Now they're saying it, it's true. They're like you said, the publicists are now, 133, the publicists are now trying to rewrite Einstein as, hey, what he said is actually happening. Now you've got these black holes that only he's the first one to bring it up, that are now feeding into each other, and you have merging galaxies are all frothing together, and we're getting all these. I don't know. I'm not saying this is the reason for. See, there's the other one. See how they're all. See, you got the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy. It's merging into the Milky Way. You've got Canis galaxy now merging into the Milky Way. You've got multiple different. It looks like a damn atom. How they spin around each other. I mean, are we simply a particle in as part of a large atom out here somewhere with the? It's what it looks like. And if you look at NASA's insignia, remember, Eric, I keep talking about NASA's insignia has that same circle. Are they telling you something? Or are they trying to convey an information or an idea for you to put in your head? Again, like you said, Eric, we don't know. This is all different.
Here's a little nerd little Easter egg, just in case nobody knows. In Star Wars, Yoda face was designed to look like Albert Einstein. I don't know why I'm bringing it up. I'm just for the hell of it.
Oh, that's good.
Know, Yoda was designed to be the all-wise one, so they actually made his face model him look like Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean nothing. It's not a code here. It is just. You guys don't want to know.
Well, you got to remember again. Now, Einstein was a patent clerk taking information during right before World War II with all these Nazi scientists, and then they of course got him to the United States, and then right after they had Einstein guys, don't forget they had Operation Paperclip. So now all these people that Einstein was reading their research, he's like telling them, hey, I was reading research off of these other schmucks over there in Nazi Germany where they did that Operation Paperclip, and they kidnapped all of these Nazi scientists and brought them over to the United States to work with, guess who? Einstein, or Einstein, I call him, old Einstein. So Einstein actually collabed with Nazi scientists, rocket scientists. Believe it or not. Guys, this isn't a myth. This is a fact. I worked at the Museum of Flight. I could tell you exactly right now that he was one of the pioneers of quantum mechanics. So he worked with Nazi scientists that were becoming quantum mechanics. And so now the space program you have is thanks to Einstein and the Nazis. So
wow.
The Jew and the Nazis work together in a nice collab. Nice collab.
Teresa's asking a question.
What's that?
Asked me a couple of days ago. Does the White House have a dome over Oval Office? Yes or no? You asked that a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Why is this? How did this become because you two don't know each other.
No.
I don't think you ever talked about this before. So I'm just asking. It's weird to see that a topic is coming from different places. Was somebody talked about this on another show by any chance?
Yeah, I saw it on what's his name? Fiber. Something.
Okay.
Yeah. He had a little quickie on there, so he probably saw the same one. So we're not all, but it is a weird subject because I used to collect the coins or the quarters from Museum of Flight when I used to clean out the machines. There'd be tons of quarters in there, but yeah, it had a dome. And then the dome is not there anymore. I did not know that. So there's never been a dome there. But except for if you watch Superman, Superman Part 2 has the dome. It shows the dome on the White House. So that disappeared. Yeah, a lot of little weird things.
You asked me, do I remember? And I go,
oh, yeah.
I can only remember when Superman was flying.
Superman. The first thing you said was, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Because remember Superman? You go. Eric said that, guys. Eric had watched nobody's video. Eric says, "Yeah, Superman 2. He flew it back at the end."
Yeah, and what was funny is I can't really find that image. I get the Superman image right here.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to find a perfect image of him having that, and I can't really find it.
Yeah, he flew it back at the end.
I mean, this is the closest shot I could get, but because he flew it back on top.
Yeah,
I can't find that picture of Superman doing that. Just this is the closest one.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the newest I call continuity error effect that I have found out recently. Well, yeah, it used to have a dome on it, but the White House don't have a dome anymore, and it's got this big ass antenna. Or no, that's just the flag. That's weird. That's a center ass flag. Used to be on the dome.
I know. I'm just trying to find anything that shows me a picture because I remember him flying it back.
Yeah,
it was like a round shape, but I can't.
Fiverr actually did the clip where he has the clip where he flies it back.
Yeah.
Why are you flying a dome if you never had a dome?
I can't find it. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. It's weird.
That's unusual that the dome was gone.
Because he's looking straight up, right? But
yeah.
I can't find a picture of the dome itself.
Yeah, the only newest thing, guys, I see tons of new stuff, but I'll bring this one up is I went to school for archaeology, and I used to read Archaeology magazine. This doesn't mean any effect or anything, but I used to read Archaeology magazine.
Oh, okay. She got it from Hazel.
Yeah. Yeah, so archaeology now has an A in it on the magazine cover of the magazine Archaeology, when it never used to have an A in it. For me, this was EO. So it used to be it was interchangeable. I talked to somebody in England who remembers they've always had the A in it, which is in academics you have to put archaeology always has to have an A in it. But all these amateur things always had it with no A. Archaeology, ACHEO, and then ology. But the 90% of the literature you had no A in it. It was just archaeology, no A in it. But now it's flipped around. Now it's upside down. Now I'm like, holy shit. Now 90% of all the literature has the A in archaeology, and only a small number has it without the A, which is weird for me. It used to be the other way. I used to get mad they didn't have the A in it. I was like, put the fucking A in it, man. But now it has the A in it. So it's been corrected. It's missing the dome. It used to be a dome right there.
Yeah.
Grayish
Hazel's our friend. Hazel gives me permission to play his video. So I'm just trying to see in his video, he's showing pictures of other domes. I want to see if he has a Superman. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
There's Superman right there.
It turns the White House into just a regular house now.
And
It looks like a house out of the South. It just looks like a regular house. It don't look like the dome was what gave it its nostalgia. It gave it its Roman-esque look, but it doesn't have any Roman look anymore.
Yeah. And look, that's what I kind of remember. Like Superman flying with a shape looking like that. That's what I kind of remember.
And for the record, guys, I asked Eric in a car. We were on our way to get a burger, and I didn't say anything about Hazel Fiverr putting a video out. I didn't say anything about videos being put out. I just asked him as an anthropologist, saying, "Eric, do you remember a dome on the White House?" And Eric says, "Well, it's got to be a dome because I remember." Eric said, "I swear to God, guys, I'm like, I remember in Superman 2, of course, Eric knows his sci-fi's. He flew the dome back."
But I don't remember what the White House really shaped. Just what I remember from Superman 2.
I remember from Superman 2. He goes, "Well, it's got to be because in Superman 2 they flew it back at the end." I go,
that's what I like about movies, where it helps to your timeline.
Yeah, and I didn't tell him about Hazel. I still I didn't want to ruin the hypothesis, the idea. So I did not tell him about the video Hazel Fiverr made. I didn't do that. I wanted Eric to discover all this on his own without.
I always watch Hazel's videos, and I guess I missed this one.
Yeah, he didn't see this one, so Eric said it on his own. Eric said it on his own.
I'm gonna say
this.
I'm gonna write him a message. Fantastic video. I used it on my show today.
Yeah, I often, if I see a video, I won't tell Eric it's a video. I'll just ask him the question, see what he remembers. Either A or either B. He does or he don't. In this case, Eric specifically said, "Oh, because Superman flew it back at the end."
Yeah.
I didn't tell him about the video.
Yeah. See, this is where I remembered where he's bringing it, and if you look, it was a dome shape.
It's dome shape. Well, yeah, everyththing had a Greek or esque, kind of a Roman-esque building, and so. But apparently, this one did not have a Romanesque building style to it.
And if you really think about it, Superman's kind of put people in danger because, no offense, why would you put a broken dome right back on top of a broken building where rocks could fall and maybe kill the president on accident?
Well, don't forget also that Superman has violated Einstein. Violated Einstein's theory of relativity, Eric. He violated it. He went faster than the speed of light. He can't do that. According to Einstein, Superman cannot fly faster than the speed of light. You know that. Can't do it. Yeah.
Now, I honestly want to hold on. I want to put in a recommendation. And I never try to tell people to watch certain shows, but Bob and I did hold on. Oops. Bob and I did a video, like a horror kind of talk show, and I broke down on how this modern day Superman movie is really truly could be taken as an awakening into the Mandela effect world. Remember, Bob? I broke it down. I broke down the scenes where he started to see colors. I kind of where people try to describe when they woke up. when I try to explain that in this Superman movie, it's a lot like a Mandela effect movie in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So if you guys get a chance, I'm telling you, you guys should watch this because I put in video clips from the movie on explaining on how this is almost could be considered a Mandela effect movie. So maybe that dome and like this movie, maybe there's a decode clues here on something that we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Truth drops in there now. But like you said, he back to Einstein, Eric. He can't remember. He spun around the Earth and went back in time. Now, according to Einstein, there's not enough to travel to. There's not enough energy to travel back in time. There's not. You just don't have enough energy. You can't produce enough energy to travel back in time and go faster than the speed of light. There's nothing faster than the speed of light. Now, he might be proven wrong if you're talking about mass. Now, remember, Einstein guy is talking about mass. Mass cannot exceed the speed of light. But what if you want to go through time, you don't use mass. You can use DNA, which is just a numerical value. It's just numbers. Numbers can go through time, Eric. Numbers can go through time. Mass can't. But numbers can go through time and energy can go through time. So a spirit or a ghost can go through time. It can faster than the speed of light, obviously. And numbers. So if you wanted to send somebody back in time and you were the government wanting to do that, you could do it in the wave of photons. You can do it with DNA. You could send DNA back in time as a sequence of numbers because we've already mapped the genome. We've mapped the human genome. So if somebody got mapped, you could send their numbers back in time. You understand that?
Huh. That makes more sense. I know. That was one strong flagpole to hold up to Superman to the dome without breaking or bending. I'm like, you know what? That's fucking true. That's that's holding the whole brick. It is not falling down. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So Bob, so you're saying that by Superman flying backwards so fast that changing Earth, that's not possible?
Yeah, it's not possible according to Einstein's theory, no. Because he's mass, and you can't mass can't move faster than the speed of light.
Oh damn. That just ruins the whole movie for me.
Yeah. But light
actually because of that, I never liked the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. That time travel crap really, to me, was stupid.
Well, he proves Einstein wrong.
Well, it proves it wrong and flying backwards, and to me that ruins the whole movie because fuck it. If you want to save the Earth, spin around in a circle.
Backwards.
Go back in time. Like when those three creatures in Superman 2 comes down, he should have just spin around in a circle, make sure the nuclear explosion never happened and never came to Earth.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with the Avengers. Now the Avengers, Eric, with that technology, now they can just go back in time.
Well, yeah. Well, they already made I know it's nerd talk. They already re-signed the character who plays Captain America back, so he's gonna be back. People are like, well, he's old, right? With time travel, you can do whatever you want. Like Iron Man. Oh, he'll be back.
He'll be back.
He died. Well, he died in this timeline.
In this timeline, but not in the other timeline.
Loki died like 3 times, right? Now Loki, he's got his own TV show. Why? Because they time travel. He took the blue thing and went back in time, and now he's got his own TV show.
Yeah, so now Loki's still. Yeah.
How about Flash? Yeah, you're right. The Flash. You're right. In the Flash, DC, there's a comic series. I think it's called Flashpoint, where the Flash uses Flashpoint to go through time. So.
Yeah. Well, you can go through time as long as you remove gravity. That's the problem with mass. Mass needs gravity. Mass creates gravity. That's according to Einstein's theory that mass creates gravity. That's why you got gravity waves. He sees gravity. Physicists, we see gravity waves coming from the black hole. We see gravity waves in the upper spheres. Well, if you remove gravity from the equation, and then there's nothing holding back matter, then matter can go faster than the speed of light.
Well, I guess we're screwed with Captain America because apparently he works for Biden now.
Oh, that's right.
I was reading that in the chat.
Yeah. Well, you see, remember, Captain America doesn't follow rules, so, he's not going to be PC. But he likes the ladies.
Yeah.
As we can see from the show, he's always looking at the girls. Ooh, Ooh. He always breaks the rules. Remember, he got in a big fight with Iron Man because he broke the rules. He's like, I ain't signing anything.
I'm sure we'll be talking about some time travel stuff on Friday, since technically the Terminator is part of our conversation on Friday, which deals with time travel.
Time travel again. Yes.
Now, Star Trek: The Motion Picture did not deal with the time travel part. They deal with, well, I'm not going to get into it now, about feature and about artificial intelligence. But in some of the Star Trek movies, they use time travel. So
time travel has to exist.
Elon
For
Musk,
all of these things to change the way they're changing, they has to exist, guys. We're nothing but photons. We're just vibrating particles. We're just energy. If you break down matter, it's just energy. Little fucking particles of energy. So we could technically, once you remove gravity from the equation,
yeah,
time travel.
Now, Teresa, Elon Musk is new Einstein. Yeah, if you, I think near the beginning of the show, we talked about that. All you need is a good publicist. And if you have a good publicist, you could be an Einstein. You could be whoever you want, because a good publicist will make you whoever you want to be.
I think to me, and I'm only to me, guys. Now I'm an idiot, so that's why I can make this comment. Elon Musk is a fool. He's an idiot. He's not smart. He's not. I mean, when it comes down to creativity, the man is not smart. I could believe me. I'm not just putting him down. I have no reason to put the man down. He's never done anything wrong to me.
Oh,
based off my own experience from talking to anthropologists, he is not a smart person.
I gotta answer this question. Yeah. I know there has been a confusion here.
Yeah.
Rob told me once, Teresa, never stop talking to Mint to top pie. What time is tomorrow's show? Okay. Shelly, since Bob is right now in America,
yeah,
the show on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I kind of moved it to 1 o'clock, 1 p. Pacific time. It gives us more time to get prepared. And Bob, when Bob's in the UK, 1 o'clock is like extra nighttime.
9 o'clock, yeah.
Since Bob's here, we moved it to 1 o'clock now. Since Monday was a holiday, and Tuesday is not a day that I usually do a show, I just had it at 11 because there's some things I got to do in the afternoon. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for the next 6 weeks or whatever, until Bob goes back to the UK and travel, it's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry for the confusion, people. I'm
here for a little bit, and I'm going back to Europe. And then
I like 1 o'clock because you can have more time to work on. But you got to think in the UK, 1 o'clock is like 11 p.m. or 1 p.m. I don't know what the time difference is, but it's nighttime when I do an afternoon show for Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. So another thing is, guys, gravity is now, there's theoretical things now in gravity that it's based off the Earth's substrate now. It depends on what chemical or metal composition is of the soil. It gives you the volume of gravity you have on the planet now, which is a new theory running all over the physicists, talking about the Earth itself is creating gravity. So if you get past the dome or the electromagnetic sphere or whatever sphere you want to call this, the cover that separates us from the uppers, once you reach that point where it's supposed to be a vacuum and there's no gravity, what's to say that you can't travel then faster than the speed of light? There's no gravity holding back mass anymore. I don't know. There's other ideas we're throwing out there to kind of fuck with Einstein.
Yeah, so guys, we're getting close to the end of the show. Tomorrow is about crystal skulls. Now, not just most crystal skulls are bullshit stories. They really are. There might be a few that are real, and we're going to discuss it. But some of these stories are based on myths, and some of these myths might be true. Like when you smell smoke, there's a fire. So sometimes even a bullshit story is generated from an actual real story.
Something truthful.
Yeah, so maybe tomorrow, maybe Bob might have some answers, or maybe some of you guys might have some answers. We don't know. And we never really discussed crystal skulls, so I'm very interested on where the show's going to go tomorrow.
It's like Mothman, Eric. Remember how we talked about Mothman? Remember Mothman showed up to where? Super Bowl.
Super Bowl? And we learned that somebody claims they have a picture of Mothman during 9/11, which I never saw that before. So sometimes, and we also learned in West Virginia, there's actually a Mothman museum. You know, and hey, who do we know if Mothman's real or not?
He's at the Super Bowl apparently now. So you guys look at that information.
During the halftime music show, they use diagrams of the Mothman. So
Mothman. They must be big fans of our show. I think Elon Musk, Eric, is now a big fan of our show because now he's contacting Putin about Bitcoin.
Somebody's saying, Bob, that you need to brush your beard.
Right? It's wild right now. I'm outside, guys. I'm keeping it. It got a little bit of oil in it, but not much. But I'm outside. That's why it looks this way.
Yeah, Bob's outside. Now, guys, the reason I played that 1 minute video of our dog running in the snow, that was like last Friday and Saturday. And now, today, the snow's almost all gone. I mean, yeah. It's crazy on how we were deep in the snow.
Yeah.
Now the snow's almost gone.
I'm fine outside in the snow. I've told people, grow a beard. Trust me. Believe me when I tell you this. Nobody listened. A few people did. Now they're outside in the snow going, hey, this is no problem for me. I'm warm as a fucking bug in a rug, man.
Yeah. Now, Mothman, wow, never. No, I'm not saying Mothman was actually there, but there's a footage, there's a picture that we showed.
Popping up now.
That was Mothman. So I'm not here to spread conspiracies at all. I am not a conspiracy channel. I am not a conspiracy channel. But there was a picture that somebody claims that Mothman was the reason why things happen.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. We just
Super Bowl.
We just spread the stories. We just talk about what other people brought up. We're not here ever telling anybody.
No.
This is the way it is.
Strictly entertainment. We
are entertainment. We bring it up, and then after every show, it's up to you on what
your research.
Never let anybody ever bully you into what they think the truth is. At the end of the day, the truth is what you believe what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll know it when that day comes anyway. You don't want to feel like a complete fool. So always keep yourself separate just a little bit. Take information in, guys, write it down, put it in your book, and then walk away and just do what you go on with your life. Don't just let people tell you what's true or not, right? I always tell you, debunk me first. Debunk me first. Debunk us first.
Debunk everybody. And once you debunk enough, if you can't debunk any further, you might have your answer.
You might have your answer, yeah. Remember, it's a liar's planet. So everybody's liar.
If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell.
Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. I want these subs up. I told Eric I want at least 30,000 subs within the next month and a half. Before I leave the United States, I want at least 30,000.
I want 30,000 subs. And so go to Twitter, go to Facebook, spread the news, spread the channel. Let's get everybody here. Let's get everybody on. Let's get to everybody on the most open-minded show on YouTube. We're the most open-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, we're never going to tell you what you should believe in.
No.
You tell yourself what you want to believe in.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we're going to be talking Crystal Skulls, and then Friday we're going to break down Tron, Terminator, Star Trek on why I believe those movies are the birth of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Why I think that.
Yeah.
We're going to break it down, baby. So beyond that, guys, we'll see you Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So, guys, we'll see you later.
Time.